Hi Cancer, this is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your July 2017 Soul Tarot reading. I'm a lot of things to say this month. Last month there was an amazing transformation taking place. Actually, it's been going on for a while. So if you're new to the channel, I always urge folks, go back and look at the prior month, the last couple of months' video, as many as you have time to view, because these messages that come through me from Spirit do build upon each other month by month. Month on month is what Spirit is saying. So I am clairvoyant, and I have recently joined YouTube in order to get some messages out that are coming through to me from Spirit, and I use the cards to channel messages, and you will see me touching the cards as I go through the reading. I am using the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews. This is a very powerful deck. It harkens to my heritage, descended from the Celtic peoples, and I do my best to put a wide global spin on this story, because Spirit has asked me to talk about energies and the evolution is the word that's coming through of the human story in this time. So, Cancer, I am going to jump in. This, in the center of your reading, is extremely profound. Over the last several months, you have been on an initiatory journey. Actually, as have many of the signs. Okay? So, last month, you came through the first phase of your initiation journey as a spiritual warrior. And you were doing battle in particular ways, mostly with yourself, which is the sacred vow that all spiritual warriors take, to do battle with the self. It is always the most difficult, the most challenging battle, because it requires us to look deep inside and to perform efforts for change and evolution. It's interesting, that word keeps coming through today. So, here in the center of your reading, right over the top, providing the spiritual energy, the theme, the energetic guidance, and the topic. Spirit is saying the topic for continued discussion. Once again, we see the dedicator of lore. That is the spiritual initiate. It is significant to me that it is here once again, right in the center. So I'm going to scroll out and we'll jump in. The dedicator of lore jumps blindfolded into the void, if you will, accepting the knowledge, the energy that comes from Spirit that will create a significant shift and change. Becoming a student, if you will. Blindfolded. And the signature of the blindfold, I don't remember, because I do so many readings, I don't remember if this came out of me last time we saw this card in your reading, which I believe was the month of May. An initiate has to go through the process of self-release. Releasing your set point, your human set point. All of your assumptions, all of the things you think you know about yourself, about the world around you, in order to become renewed and begin again. And so the first phase of this journey for you was about the renewal, was coming through battle. The types of battle that you were having with yourself. And you know, way back in the beginning of the year when I started these readings, it's interesting, as you stepped on the road toward becoming an initiate, you were being given opportunities and lessons, if you will, and aspects and energy that encourage you to step more deeply into your personal power, which as a Cancer, as an empath, most Cancers are very soft and very emotional, very psychologically. There's a word that's coming through. Spirit is saying psychologically apt, but at the same time available for injury. Self-injury and injury for others. And there's a process coming forward that is meant to transform the way you utilize this energy and this natural set point of abilities, that is going to bring your strength very much to the forefront. Well, actually, I'm being a little bit corrected. Spirit is saying strength in plural. So your strengths that can sometimes cause you to be overcome by life, those things are in the process of being transformed. Okay? So last month there was a story about battle. The Queen of Battle was here with you. And the Woman of Battle actually was the outcome. Standing firmly in your place, she has on this amulet. She has come through her own transformation and stands ready to take whatever step is necessary. Whatever she is called to do, that is the power she holds. And as a feminine, female representation of power, I'm pretty sure, I hope I said, that, for me in these readings as guided by Spirit, that is an indication of a fertile moment. It doesn't mean exactly a woman. It certainly could, and if you are a woman, you will resonate with that in your own way. But these energies are about sacred archetypes. So, this is what's guiding you. Oh, okay, Spirit's telling me phase 2. The next phase of this journey. That's why this is here again in the center, laying over the top. There is another piece of this cycle, and I am getting the word cycle, that you are beginning to step into now as we prepare for the eclipses that are coming in August. And look at that. There she is. I was just talking about her. Okay, there's the Queen of Battle. Now in the center, right in the center of your reading. This woman is a sacred shaman, feminine energy. She holds the energy of magic, the universe, across the veil, if you will, the deep mysteries of life. And she is standing in this place. Do you see the sun is coming up behind her? So there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of journeying that I expect to see coming out through these cards again, because these two are standing together. What Spirit is saying is putting you on notice for this next phase of your journey. It is going to continue to be very magical. And with this woman at the center, this is your energy aspect. Again, fertility. And it's very interesting because you see how the depiction of the initiate is male. So, we're talking about a type of energy that initiates action. Sorry for that play on words. The active principle, if you will. And then, having taken this step, having activated yourself in this way, being willing to accept this place in your life that you are stepping into, in that moment, it is a very fertile moment that brings to you this fertile shamanistic journey, guarded by and accompanied by the Queen of Battle. And for me as an initiate, this is a very significant message. Because again, you are deepening, Spirit is telling me, your battle with yourself in order to come into your power through a very mystical continuation of your journey. So, let's see what's here. So, this is the elopement of knowledge. This is a representation of the sacred cauldron, if you will, through a particular type of story. I'm going to tell the story very briefly as it relates to the journey that you're on. So, a couple things. You see how that's an 8, a number 8 card, the elopement of knowledge. There is knowledge that has come to you. And you may have had some awakening. You may have had some dreams, some intuitive knowing, something, some visions. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails. And the things that I'm hearing about the experiences that people are having all over the world are very heartening to me. And sometimes this is part of the story. This is about a lot of shape-shifting, a lot of travel, being carried away, if you will, by suddenly coming into knowledge, a certain type of knowledge that was unexpected, and in a sense not really asked for. So the story behind this card is there was a goddess. She wanted to imbue her son with knowledge, so she made a little magical brew. It had to simmer on a fire, and she tasked a young child, a boy, with sitting next to the fire, just to tend it. Something happened unexpectedly, and the brew boiled over, and the young boy reached out with his hands to try to steady things, and some of the magic brew splashed onto him, of course, and in that moment his very normal human reaction was to thrust his fingers into his mouth. And in that moment, he imbibed all of this knowledge very unexpectedly. And it frightened him, and he began to shapeshift. All right? And so, there's sort of a longer piece of information about this card, but I think what's coming from Spirit is, in this moment, the message for you is about acknowledging the transformation that is happening, acknowledging the fact that this is happening rapidly in a way that perhaps you didn't expect ever. That's what Spirit's saying to me. You didn't ever expect to come into the type of self-knowledge that perhaps you are experiencing, or at least many of you. So, on your human journey this month, you may be feeling some overwhelm. You may be feeling a little bit carried away, and some anxiety about what this means for you and how to go forward and what the next step might be. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so this is the foundation of skill. This is a beautiful card. I really love it. It is filled with stability and hope and self-directed change, creating something new. Do you see this person? You see the tools? You see the strength that this person has just in their physical body? Right? Again, male energy. This is the foundation of skill. So this knowledge, this initiation process, is providing you with a new foundation. And you are going to use this information that has come to you about the world, about yourself, about the situations you find yourself in, and it is bringing to you this new foundation, where there is still room for growth, quite clearly. However, there's a stability here. And it is with your passion that you are able to forge the pathway forward, is what I'm getting from Spirit. It is about this new foundation that came to you in this shocking way. And Spirit's telling me, all the cards, to look, encourage you to look into all the cards that are here. This is the knowledge. This is the sort of the shock, in a certain sense. Okay? And because the Queen of Battle is here, she is protecting you. She is the one who is ensuring that you are going to be able to utilize that which is coming through to you in order to use the fire of your passion and your strength. Remember, it's interesting. Spirit started out talking about your strength, your set point, and the passion that you have that arises from that deep, watery place as a Cancer. And I think that message actually has come through now that I'm listening to myself say it again. So, as we go through the reading, I want to encourage you, sometimes I forget to say, to look at these lines as they develop. So here we have this mystical woman standing at the center, standing in the center of your being, your energy set point. You are going deeper into the mystical realm. Your vision is developing. Your vision from this place is developing, and you are coming into this intense amount of knowledge, or what Spirit is correcting me a little bit, a different type of knowledge and understanding that is bringing you to this new foundation. And here we have, because of this journey, this is the augury of battle. It's very interesting. The way you are doing battle has transformed very profoundly over the last few months. Because you are coming into your strength and you are on this mystical journey, you have taken this step, which does take an enormous amount of strength just to make those decisions and to step into the void and open your wings and see where it takes you. All right? So, okay, Spirit's telling me to tell the rest of the story. So in this story, the elopement of knowledge, this young boy shapeshifted and ran away, tried to hide from this goddess. He knew she was going to be angry, and she just shapeshifted and followed him because she had the capacity. And in the end of the story, he dove into a haystack, and she turned into a chicken and dove in after him, and he sort of became a little drop of grain. She just gobbled him up. Okay, and then she laid a sacred egg. He was reborn, and he was born back into the world as a very sacred, knowledgeable, famous poet. It's interesting, the words that are coming through is poet laureate, but in that time, the spoken word was very, very profoundly respected. And so to be reborn as a sacred poet, a wisdom holder, a story holder, you know what? It's funny, there's a phrase that's coming through. I'm getting a vision of the way ancient peoples used to carry fire once they had mastered fire. There was someone who was in charge of carrying the coals as they were still nomadic and they roamed from place to place. There was someone who was the fire holder. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just going to trust Spirit. That vision is coming through very strongly related to this card. There is something that you hold inside of you that is become... Oh, here, I'm such a dunce. Look at that. The fire holder. The holder of the passion, the holder of vision. The person who carries the sparks inside of them. From place to place, as they change and develop, this foundation remains true. And in this moment, as you develop in this way, carrying this capacity, as you shift and change, you will continue to carry this capacity. The words that are coming to my mind are fire holder. I also feel certain that there's another term that is not coming to my thoughts, and I hope over the reading it will. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, so feel free to write me a message on the thread. So Spirit says, don't worry about it. You are developing into that which you already are. That's part of what's happening through all of this shift and change. Becoming more truly in line with your own passion, with your own strength. Carrying the fire of these Cancer energy, the passion inherent, the strength, the power of fire in order to forge this new life, this place where you are going, accompanied by the Queen of Battle. So, that is the augury of battle. So please go back and look, please, I'm begging you, go back and look at the last couple of months, okay? This is an amazing story. Look at that. That's a sacred sword of victory. See the beautiful purity of this moment? The sky, the shining city. Out of the winter of your life comes this moment. This is a prophecy. This is about that which is going to arise through this journey you are on as an initiate. And because you are in the second phase of that journey, you are at this moment, the moment just before you are able and ready to grasp the sword. Sometimes Spirit asks me to say things and they always feel, or not always, sometimes I hesitate, but so here's the message that's coming through. Do you understand? Can you give yourself a moment to absorb this so you understand this image as intensely beautiful? It's a celebratory moment. You see the look on that person's face? Very beautiful. Having come into this new power, the new way of doing battle, a new set point as a spiritual warrior, just the moment before you're able to take up the sword. And in that moment, there's a little bit of pause. His hands are not on it. And again, you know, beautiful sacred male energy, the energy of spark. I love the way these cards are lined up. It's very interesting to me. And again, look at this line, okay? There's this augury of battle just sitting underneath the dedicator of lore as we move the cards around the table. So, sacred male and female energy. The impulse, the male impulse to create change and go forward, accompanied by the beautiful sacred feminine who has the power to receive the impulse and with that impulse bring new life. That's the story that's on the table this month so far. All right, so let's see what's at the bridge card for you. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so now we have the elopement of battle. Another sacred shaman. Look at that woman. She is one of the most powerful women in this deck. Okay? Very clearly, you are, in this initiatory journey this month, you are further being released from that which binds you. Do you see the sacred, the bird has put the rope around the scene. Deep out across the universe, your soul continues to dream and slumber in its process of awakening. This card can signify being released from addiction or anything that binds you. So again, this message is coming really clear this month, and I just want to show you something. Okay, look at these two women standing next to the initiate. You know, I'm sure I said this to you last month, but you're going really deep. Your process continues, very much so. And as you begin to take up this sword and you come forward in this moment, the moment before this crystallizes into your life is what Spirit is sending through as a message, just the moment before, because it is a prophecy, an augury. As you prepare to take up the sword, this new way of being a warrior and doing battle, you are being released. You are deepening this process in order to be released into this next phase of your development. I'm just going to scroll in on this line for a moment. Look at that. That's amazing. Very deep. Two beautiful, sacred, feminine power holders here to shepherd you across and to meet you in this phase of your journey in order to give life and to increase the impulse that you have inside of you that comes out of the male aspect of your energy. Okay? So in this story, a young boy went on a journey. And here, you know, at the end of the story, he is reborn as someone who has an enormous amount of knowledge, a wisdom holder. And in that place, there is a new foundation. And with that foundation, now the next phase begins. And it's a very beautiful, powerful story about the blending of male and female energy and how those different types, the expressions, Spirit says, the expressions of source energy in your life, in your being, in these ways, with the impulse of male Genesis for a new life is the word that's coming through. As it should be received by the feminine archetype in order to increase and bring it to fruition. That is a beautiful, beautiful story of support and journeying. So let's see what's here. Look. Oh, gosh. All right. That's a major arcana card. The Dreamer. You see this beautiful card rooted very deeply across the universe, okay, across the divide, out in the universe. That is the double-headed Dreamer. So again, you may have some psychic visions. You may have some very profound dreams. You may experience some astral travel. And, you know, often I use that word a lot. I'm very familiar with that state of being. I know some of you are not, and it can be frightening and disconcerting. You know, on some level, it just means being very, very deeply in tune with your sacred spiritual energy and walking through your day-to-day life or during moments of your day-to-day human life in this way. And you may find in a moment that suddenly you are feeling this energy very deeply. And you will feel a difference in your psyche and in your physical presence. Sometimes for me, my vision actually does change. So, in the traditional tarot, this is the Star card. All right. It is about a certainty that your goals and your dreams are able to come to fruition. You have the power to look in both directions and to master your own energy in order to create that which you desire in the very deepest way with your spiritual energy. Very profound. Look, she was here last month as well. Remember her? In fact, I think she was in this placement. This is the Lover of Devotion. So, on your spiritual journey, 2 major arcana cards right in a row. Another female aspect of sacred energy, standing right next to the Dreamer, giving rise to the life that you dream about, that comes from the place in which your devotion rests. Okay, Cancer? Again, I want to just give your attention to this line. You have this new foundation in this place where your passion is, able to forge something new in this magical way with this kind of existence, you know, with help from the Queen of Battle, who has the capacity to cross back and forth in her spiritual journeying as she accompanies you in this way, continuing your release because of your shamanistic journey deeper into the dream time to discover and explore the heart of your devotion as a human person, a spirit being walking in a human, it's funny, spirit saying veil, walking in a human veil, cloaked with the overlay of humanity. So let's see what's here. Okay, and so there's the purpose. On your spirit realm, on your spirit journey this month, there is more adventure, of course, we know that, because we see the initiate. This is the adventure of art. The artful way this journey brings to you your shift and change. There is the triple spiral of life, hanging in the sky, guiding you in all your endeavors. This person, I don't know if this has shown up in your readings, this was actually a sacred poet of the clan. He was a sacred musician. This is a harp. It was stolen in a battle, And he had to go under the cloak of night to the enemy encampment and sit there and sing the songs in order to help this instrument literally arise and float through the air and return to him. So what's coming from Spirit about this is that the metaphor in the story is the spiritual wheel upon which you turn this month, through the month of July. You are deepening your ability to experience your own life-death-life cycle in order to bring yourself home. That part of you that is the sacred wisdom holder in your life, coming home. And it's interesting that this is cloaked, because here we have the shaman, okay? On the mystical realm is where you are traveling. Clearly this person also had to do that. And given the fact that the bridge card is this sacred shaman, this journey, I just want to reiterate, and it's about releasing you into this deeper aspect of yourself so you can let go the human binds that, bound. Wait, sorry, what's the word? The way in which you are bound. Sorry, that took a minute to pop through. But you see all the beautiful light, the shining yellow light behind this? If you are struggling with addiction of some kind, you may now have the ability to begin to release it and let it go. Whether it's addiction to a substance of any kind, or a situation, a relationship that doesn't serve you, overeating, smoking, drinking, any of those kinds of things. We can, our human, the way our neurologic pathways are set up, we can become addicted to almost anything, even the internet, actually. So look into your own place, is what Spirit is saying, and see what is that which you would like to be released. From that which you would desire release, Spirit says. You have the aspect this month to at least begin working on that process. And it is part of your sacred initiation, is to have that journey. Look at that. Okay, that's amazing. I just want to put this person right here to show you the ways in which you are enveloped this month. I'll hold it up and show you in a minute, but that is the King of Battle. Your initiation journey this month is sitting right in between the Queen and the King of Battle. And you see? Look at that. Absolutely astounding Cancer. All right, so the King of Battle. This is a mythological story based in some truth. In the ancient Celtic days, there was a king. He lost his hand in battle. And in those days, if some kind of injury like that happened, you were not allowed to sit on the throne. So one of his subjects made a silver hand for him. He was then, over time, magically healed, and his hand, rightful human hand, grew back. In this journey was so profound for him of shift and change, and growth and regrowth, and part of him, a part of him literally being cut off. He fashioned he built a sacred dream tunnel in order to be able to go into this place. Into the berm is what a Spirit is telling me. And if you look up some of the ancient Celtic sites, it's not unlike the pyramids. It's just, culturally relevant to the place and time. Very interesting. In order to travel and have this type of a journey, actually, he built this dream chamber to help people go across. So that is clearly what is happening in your journey as an initiate, which enters into the next phase for you as a spirit walker. So Cancer, thank you so much. I'm very excited to hear from you. I would love to hear any of your experiences that you want to share on the thread. I do offer private readings. If you would like a reading, send me an email. Please be patient because I get so much mail. It may take me a day or 2 or 3 to get back to you, but I promise that I will. And I will send you some information about how to get it on the schedule and prices. I have 2 or 3 different price structures. I try to make it so that everyone can afford a reading. And in fact, I think I've decided to offer a hopefully least expensive option so that more folks can enjoy getting a reading. Thank you, Cancer. It's very inspiring to me as someone who's been doing these readings now since February about your journey. It's really beautiful to watch this unfolding and the depth. And, you know, as a water sign, I guess who would be surprised about how deep you can go? So I'm just grateful, and I'm sending you my love, and I'm very excited to look forward to August together. And God willing, I will be here with another reading during the eclipse season in August. Thank you so much.